Well, we got another Kansas deer tonight. I told you the next two are coming from Kansas. This is the second one. This deer right here is really cool, man. It's got some incredible bases. It's got some great tine length, heavy circumference measurements. The tines aren't real overly long. You can see what we're looking like right here. So I love this deer. Now, I will show you something before I get on the main beam measurements. Check these out. These are some non-typical, or like Buckmasters calls them, they're irregular points. You have 3 on this side right here. I want you to look at this. It's going to be on the right side of the rack. For a point to be considered a scoreable point, it has to be 1 inch. So you can see right here, this one right here meets 1 inch. This one right here, I mean, and I'm talking about it barely meets 1 inch. And then this one right here, it meets it. And then we've got a third irregular point over here on this left-hand side. You can see right here, this one right here, and it's well over 1 inch. But I wanted you to see those 2 points. I want to look at them again. I want everybody to be in agreement that this is where these things grow from. All right? Don't come at me in the comments with some this, that, and the other. All right? This is where these little knobs, we're going to call them points because they're over 1 inch long. That's what we're calling an irregular point. It's got some other knob looking little deals on here. They're not 1 inch, so I'm not going to be able to score those at all. So remember, to score deer, what do you need? Well, you need tape measure. You got to have I like to have a cable to find my tine length. I'm going to have me a tape measure, not my tine length, for my main beams. Tape measure like this one right here straight for my tine length. And I'm going to have one like this that I can go around the rack to get the bases. I'm going to show you how big these bases are on this rascal. These are incredible bases. They're huge. You also want a straight edge so that you can lay it in here just like that. And then you can get where your tines start off the main beam from. And then, of course, lastly, if you've watched any of my videos before, you know I love this little tape measure right here, this little Mason's rule. Because when I go to get an inside spread, I can pop it in the middle and I can slide this end out and force it in there to get a good inside spread. We got a storm going on right here in North Louisiana. Heck, I might lose power for all I know. You know, we got a pipe of sunshine in over here where I'm at in Washita City. So you guys hold tight. We're going to go to doing some main beams. All right, so we're going to do the main beams, and I know I did some under the table scoring of what looked like under the table scoring on the last video. I really sincerely apologize for that. I didn't mean to. It's just sometimes with these, when they take them to the taxidermist, we want to also thank Jason Humble with Final Feeding Taxidermy. You get them in the skull plate, and it's kind of hard to handle them. And so, you know, I had to do some of those. I'm not going to do that anymore. So with the main beams, we're going to follow this main beam all the way up. And then I'm going to make my marks. Kind of went back. I usually make my marks first, but I'm interested in getting this main beam done. And going through here, showing what it looks like. Great deer. This is a bow kill out of Kansas. I think the last one with the double brows was a rifle kill. And this one right here is a bow kill. So let me flop this dude out. That way I can see what my main beam measurements are. I always go out 3 times on the Mason's rule. That gets me 25 inches. And this one here is perfect. We're looking on the right side main beam, 24 5/8 on that right side main beam. So if you're taking score at the house, you're going to write down 24 5/8. That's your score sheet right here. This is what your score sheet looks like before you get started. I took a picture of it so I can show you. And now I'm going to write 24 5/8 right here on mine. That's outstanding on that main beam. Let's make some time measurements real quick. I hope you guys had a good week, man. I like these videos. They're going really well. Thank you for liking. Hey, if you're watching and you want to help my channel grow, if you have subscribed, get on there and let's click that copy link and share it on your social media pages. Help me get a little something going here, because I like doing this, man. I'm not really doing this I ain't making no money on this, man, at all. But I like to show these deer. Now this one is difficult, man. I didn't realize this. I got some irregular stuff growing from where this main beam grows from. But I got me a good measurement right there. I like that measurement. But help my channel grow, bro, and ladies. It's fun to do this. I do it on Monday nights here locally. Our contest is about to wind to an end because our season is coming to an end. The state of Louisiana did give us about a few extra days because of the storm to get out there and get it. So our season's supposed to end January 31st, but they're going to run Area 2 where I'm at through February 2nd. So got a couple extra days. I like those. I think, yeah, those are good marks there. I'll show you those when we get started here in a minute. And then I'm going to show you, you will see this mark that I have made. I'm going to make it a little bit better so we all can get in here. I want it to be in agreement, y'all. I want to, if y'all don't agree with something I'm doing, I know you will. Say something. Say, hey man, why'd you do it like that? Why didn't you do it like this? And we can talk about it. Because I'm all about transparency. I don't want somebody thinking I'm giving folks more than they should and shortchanging them when I shouldn't, right? I'm going to do this side over here. And I'm marking these on the back because I'll show you when we get to going on these brow tines. They lean to the back. Oh, hold on, I say they do. Let me check this one out. Yeah, it's going to lean a little slightly to the back. And you want, again, you've probably heard me, if you listen to any of them I've done before, follow the curvature of the antler when you tape measure these deer. And you want to make your mark, try to make your mark in the center. So that way when you come off that center, that mark's waiting on you. Now that's a little high. That's a short chain. Man, I don't like that. I don't like that. Try to get that on there. Go. Good and go. That was, I shortchanged that deer. I don't like that. There. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I got a little bit better. When I show you this, you'll see what I'm talking about. My mark was a little high the first time. That's why you want to look at them. Don't just make your mark and walk off. Study what you're doing. Make sure that your marks are accurate on every deer that you do. I really like when I score deer and I see marks already on here. And my mark is real close to those because that tells me that these people are scoring deer and they're actually making good quality, what an official score would call marks. Because some folks, they may want to go a little high, and some folks may go a little low. But when I can land and get them close to somebody else's mark, that makes me feel good because the information's getting out there. All right. I have showed you the mark on the irregular points. So I'm going to score. Now I'm gonna check it out. I haven't written them down yet. I'm gonna go ahead and think out my mirror right at an inch. And like I say, folks, I don't want to do under the scoring table. But see, I can't get the deer where I want it. Can't get the right where I want it. That one there's gonna be 1 0/8 on the right hand side. The first irregular point's 1 0/8. And this other one, I'm going to call it 1 1/8. 1 0/8. Irregular. 1 0/8. And then 1 1/8. Okay. So I got my irregular points out of the way. I'm going to score the first typical point, which is our P1 on the right hand side. I'm going to put it up here where y'all can see what I'm doing. I don't like it. Man, I watched that video and it bothered the fire out of me that I was doing that behind the table, and I don't want to do it behind the table. I want you to see what I'm doing. All right. I'm gonna get my old man spec. When it gets close to me, if you old like me, I'm 46. If you old, man, them readers comes in handy. Oh yeah, 5 7/8. I almost called it 6. But now that I'm looking, that's 5 7/8. I just dropped my tape measure. 5 7/8 on the P1 on the right hand side. 5 7/8. And some people may be saying, why don't you wear your glasses all the time? Well, because it throws off my focus on my camera. It catches the glare on the lens and it throws off the focus. So if I don't have that rack right on top of me, I can see pretty good. Let's move on to the P2 on this side. All right, 9 5/8. Yeah. No. That ain't the 3/4. That's 5. Okay, 9 7/8. Yeah, 9 7/8. Good, the lens a little. That dude's longer than I thought. 9 7/8. Oh like that, boy. 9 and 7/8. The only thing that kills this deer versus the last two that I've done is the tine length. The last two had some 11-inch tines. This one here, 9 7/8 looks like it's going to be one of the longer ones. The 3 on this side, 7 4/8. 7 and 4/8. Hold on, let me look. Let me get one more look at it. Yeah, it's over that 3/8. So 7 and 4/8. 7 and 4/8. This one was right. It was right, but it was past the 3/8. And when it goes past the 3/8, you can go up to the next 8. And it was almost pretty well to that 4/8. So you can move up. Per the rule book, you can round up, per the rule book, to the next 1/8 of an inch. However, you cannot round up when it's to a point, a scoreable point. It's got to be dead balls 1 inch. Okay, and it can't be 7/8 of an inch, no, or past the 7/8 of an inch. It's got to be 1 inch. All right, this one right here, one right there, that's past that 6/8. We're gonna say 3 and 7/8. 3 and 7/8 on the P4 on the right hand side. Let's go through and do some circumference measurements. I'm gonna show you how big these bases are, because just calling it out in here doesn't give this deer justice. This son of a gun has got some bases. I mean, some bases. Let's see. Now you're always looking for the smallest spot. Okay. There's 6 and 6/8. There's 6 and 5/8. It looks like that's gonna be it. Let's see. Yeah. 6 and 5/8. That's what this one is. And this is a good indication of one that's over the 4/8, but right bumping the 5/8. You can bump it up and say 6 and 5/8 on this one right here. On the C1 on the right hand side, 6 and 5/8. Let's go to the C2. Boy, I like to die the other day, y'all. My daddy liked to get me killed. C2. I'm going to tell you that story here in a minute. 5 and 0/8. Yeah, 5 and 0/8 on the C2. He shot a hog. Couldn't find it. It run down in a briar patch. Well, Daddy takes blood thinners. And I told him, I said, you ain't going down that briar patch. I'll be there in just a minute. And I go down there. I have my pistol on my hip. And I track her. She's bleeding real good. And I track her. And she gets down in that daggum thicket. And let me tell y'all something. She hadn't expired by the time I got up on her. Let me just say that. And the way I knew she wasn't expired, 5 and 0/8. 5 and 0/8 on the 3. How do y'all think I knew she wasn't expired when I walked up on her? What's the number one rule when you're a hunter? You walk up on your animal. Look at them eyeballs. That eyeball was tight closed. Tight closed. Well, I done lost track of where Daddy was. I have my 9mm on my hip. C4 right hand side last circumference measurement. I have my 9mm on my hip. 4 and 3/8. And I pulled it, and I got it, and I thought I better find out where he's at. I said, where are you at? And he couldn't hear me. He said, what? And son, when he said what, that eye come open, and partner, here she come. And I had that 9, that 6 iron right here at me, and I just pop, 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 pop. She run out squalling and carrying on, and he gets excited. You hit her, you hit her. I said, I don't know where I hit her, and she almost got me. She did, y'all. I mean, she wasn't 5 yards from me. That briar patch was so thick. I'm telling you the truth. And there was hog crap all down in there, so I know she ain't the only hog. And I'm laying here on my back looking up at the sky after that interaction with that wounded wild man killer. And I said, this is it. This is how I'm gone right here. They're going to come get me out of this briar patch. I hope it, and I thought about it, I said, boy, I hope they get me out of here before the hog get me and eats me up. You know, that's what the old folks say. Old folk, and I watched a movie one time where somebody killed somebody and fed them to the hog. Anyhow, I ought to get off that. But yeah, and then I trailed her up and trailed her, and I lost her in all that briar patch mess, and it was a man. Then I couldn't find my way out. Now, if you know my daddy, he loved me something else. So I says, hey, I hollered across that briar patch. I said, hey, how'd I get out of here? He said, go to the beaver pond. I said, where's the beaver pond? You know what he told me? Now it's January, y'all. He says, look up and look for them 2 dead trees. Well, y'all, I could barely look up. And when I did, Evertree looked dead. I said, Daddy, Evertree looks dead. It's January. Well, I know which 2 I'm looking at. I said, well, I'm glad you do. And he says, find the hill and crawl down the hill. So I start crawling. Now, y'all, I'm telling you, I done told y'all there's pig crap everywhere. I start smelling something. I'm like, what in the world? It was me. I smelled like the south end of a northbound hog. It was right. I had that mess all over my clothes. I got in my pickup truck. I stunk. And I still had to go to the grocery store. Dadgummit. I'm having the devil with it. So, if you ever get in a situation where you are tracking a live wounded hog, it is a very good idea to have a dog with you. But I didn't. And that's another reason I carry a pistol with me every time I go in the woods. Right here in North Louisiana, we have got a ton of wild hogs. And I done had them stand their ground on me one night. And wouldn't move when I tried to walk through. So, I carry a 9mm with me now. And my buddy told me, he said, you need to start carrying a 45. Well, I probably do. Let's see what this left side main beam measurement comes out to. It's a good one. I don't know that it'll be as long as the right one. The right one was 24 5/8. Let's see what this left one looks like. No, it's going to be 24 0/8. Left side main beam, 24 0/8. Hang that cable on my voiceover mic. I do voiceover work. You need to look, man. I'm barely getting in it. If anybody's out there who's got a company that does advertising and you want to help a brother out, I'm all for some spare change, man. I will turn it around and get you an MP3 of your video in a heartbeat. All you need to do is just tell me what to say. Let's get this irregular point while we're here. This irregular point is very well over 1 inch. It's 1 and it's going to be 1 6/8. The irregular point on the left-hand side, 1 6/8. Yeah, buddy, it's raining. I don't know if y'all can hear it. Let's do some time measurements here. First tine, the brow tine right here. First tine on the right-hand side. That's on the right-hand side. We're going on the left, ain't we? Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. All right, let's see what this one here looks like. Five. Don't get in. 5 3/8 inches. 5 3/8. P1 on the left-hand side. 5 3/8. All right. Move on to the next one on the left-hand side. This one here is probably about 6 inches. No, a little over 6. We're looking at 7 2/8. P2 is 7 2/8 on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, right-hand side. Next one, 7 2/8. And then the last one here, let's take a look at it. 5 2/8. P4, left-hand side, 5 2/8. Let's get some circumference measurements real quick. Man, I'm telling you, these bases are huge. I love this one. I don't know if it's going to be as big as that last one. The last one, the base was 6 5/8. That's the official score of the base on that right-hand side, 6 5/8. Let's see, this one here. Right off the jump, I got 6 5/8. Now I've got 6 4/8. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be 6 4/8. And I will show you, I'm going to take a picture of this when I get finished so you can see exactly where I'm at. That's 6 4/8 inches on the C1 on the first circumference measurement on the left-hand side. Second circumference measurement. 5 1/8. Yep. Yeah, 5 1/8 on the C2. The C3. 5 2/8. And now the last one, the C4. 4 6/8. Yeah. 4 6/8. So let's get the inside spread on this hoss. What y'all think? Now y'all kind of got an idea of what we're looking at. Let's see, 24-inch main beams. Okay, so you see the 24-inch main beam. All right, the longest tines, 9 7/8, and then 7 2/8. Not real long tines. So if you look at the tine length, y'all guess the spread. Okay, I'm gonna see what. Tell me what you tell me. Put in the comments what you think real quick before I get going. I don't know if you can do that. I'm not very YouTube savvy, to be quite honest with you. All right. Like I said before, man, I just love to do this kind of stuff. I'm not doing it to make money or nothing. Like, I like people to interact with me, talk to me. I'm talking about deer and scoring. This is probably one of the most insignificant parts of hunting, just a score. But I do love it because I get to see some of the coolest things. I've got 18 0/8. That's an 18-inch spread. 18 0/8. Whoop, hold on. No, it ain't. Oh no. I think I wasn't right. Yeah, no, 17 7/8. 17 7/8 on that inside spread. Yeah, 17 7/8. All right, 17 7/8 on that inside spread. I'm gonna tally everything up. Okay, y'all, what's your score? Got your score for you, folks. Great deer. Let me tell you something. This is outstanding. Left side main beam 24 0/8. Right side main beam 24 5/8. The longest tine on the left-hand side. It's a tie between the 2 and the 3. Both of them 7 2/8. On the right-hand side, the P2 is the king with 9 7/8. Circumference measurements are what set this deer apart. The C1 on both sides. One on the left-hand side, C1 6 4/8. The right-hand side, C1 6 5/8. That's circumference measurements, y'all. Those of you can score. On the left-hand side, C2 5 1/8. C2 5 0/8. C3 on the right, on the left-hand side, 5 2/8. C3 on the right-hand side, 5 0/8. And finally, the C4 on the left, 4 6/8. C4 on the right, 4 3/8. The left side, total inches of antler on the left-hand side, 7 4/8. Total inches of antler on the right-hand side, 7 40s. What am I talking about? 7. Let me just start that over. The total inches of antler on the left-hand side, 72 4/8. Total inches of antler on the right-hand side, 74 7/8. Inside spread of 17 7/8. Okay? So, the total inches of just antler. Only thing we're looking at right now is the total inches of bone, irregular, everything grown on the head. 147 3/8. Okay? 147 3/8. When you factor in the 17 7/8 inside spread, now you're looking at 165 2/8 for the BTR score. The official Buckmaster score is 147 3/8. The BTR score, which is like a gross score, 165 2/8. Guys, this is a great bow kill out of Kansas. I thank Jason Humble again, Final Feed and Taxidermy, for letting me hold on to this dude. I got one more to get to from Kansas, and then we're going to move on to another state. My name is Greg Hicks. This is the Antlers and Hicks podcast, and as always, I want to encourage you guys to live your life past 20 yards. I'll see you next week.